right, ladies and gentle people of the world. That was some game the other day.
Exhale. Oh man. Oh man.
It was a lot going on over there. You know what I wonder? If you're Canada, what they must be feeling like after the Nations League and then after that.
Miserable, absolutely miserable. Well, how deflating, man, to go from that World Cup qualifying campaign where they rise to the top of the region to that World Cup and then that Nations League and then this Gold Cup. They're right back down to where they were before. Let's be honest. I think that World Cup qualifying campaign was a bit of a fluke.
I mean, they played well. I mean, they played a punch above their weight. The one thing the Canadian coach John Herdman has shown is that he can coach a team that's under talented and get them up a notch. But I think they've hit the ceiling with where he can take them. Seems a little out of his depth with the A team, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you guys are both. Listen, you guys are both not good. They should have won. They had the game won. They had us
really
beaten.
Did.
So if we're saying that they are like, I mean, this kid from Nova Scotia, like basically pegs a super goal basically.
Schaffelberg is a good player, man. Let's not
talk smack about Schaffelberg. Or was it? Burns him, man.
He's Nova Scotia's finest over there, and like comes in and just burns him. And I thought it was like game over. I thought it was done at that point in time.
He burned Jesus Ferreira, Brian Reynolds, and Matt Miazga in one play, pretty much.
Yeah,
wrecked our entire left side. It was embarrassing. That little toe poke by Ferreira to try to trip him, get the yellow card. It was just embarrassing.
Yeah. So lot to talk about. I think probably the best way to talk about this is let's just start both you guys from a U.S. perspective. Did anyone play well?
First of all, you gotta. What are you talking about? For 115 minutes, or are we talking about the last 5 minutes? Because I think 115 minutes of that game, you throw it out the door because it was atrocious on multiple levels. They were okay in the second half, really bad in the first half. That's not a good Canada team. And Canada looked fine in the first half. They looked like equals. The second half, the U.S. looked a bit better. And then in extra time, after going down, I thought it was impressive, the kind of spirit that the team showed. They got lucky to score, but they kept going. I was impressed with that. Did anyone play well? Matt Turner, DeJuan Jones. That's it.
Yeah. I thought DeJuan Jones played borderline excellent. If you look at his game, if you look at the assist he gave, that was a gorgeous assist. He did everything he had to do. Sure, he had bad passes here and there, but overall, I would give him a solid 8.5 out of 10. Maybe closing in on a 9 out of 10. I mean, comparatively speaking, he was pretty damn good.
I thought he was much better.
Nobody gets a 9 out of 10 for that game. Nobody.
Sure, but if we're speaking comparatively, he stood up far above anyone else as a field player. Matt Turner, for me, was the best player. I mean, you can't go wrong with those penalty kick saves. Throughout the game, he was excellent, his distribution. But, I mean, you look at the rest. Maybe Vasquez. Could we say that Vasquez played well? Yeah. I think we could. I think he had a few misses. What I didn't like about him is he shoots or he tries to hit goal from a position that he knows he's not going to get it in a place that's going to be dangerous. He tried a header from the penalty spot like 2 times, where he could have just dropped it, tried to do that second header, but that was frustrating to watch. I'm glad he got the goal. He missed a penalty as well. What a freaking, it reminded me of Baggio in 94 World Cup when he hit into row Z. That was, and at home. This is his home, Cincinnati. That is embarrassing.
We'll get into the penalties for a second. I just want to briefly talk about Miles Robinson, because Miles Robinson is an A-team player. And listen, he got bailed out on the first penalty because that was a penalty, and luckily there was a push, and that was marginal. In Europe, I don't think they call that. Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
in
Europe, I don't think they call
Busio
and not like someone else, because
the
ref went down easy.
Credit to the ref. The ref, that is a good decision, and the ref made the right call about the push before. But I guarantee you, a lot of refs would not have done that. So he gets bailed out once, and then he does it again.
The same crap again.
So I want to talk to you guys about that. I mean, we've all played soccer. What is that, man? We've all played soccer, and I think like defensively, I know, when you're going up against guys, like sometimes your arms are not in the right place. But to do it twice, come on, man.
Yeah, but so VAR changes things, right? So VAR changes things a lot. I mean, for a long time, that doesn't get called. There's a lot of incidental handballs in the box that the ball kind of bounces off. With VAR, it's a different story. And I'm just glad that he got these two out of the way in this game, which was meaningless in some ways compared to the other games he's going to play. Certainly a meaningful game, but compared to the games he's going to play over the next few years, this is on the bottom of the totem pole. So I'm glad he got out of the way here, but you just can't do that. This is VAR. It's going to catch it every time. You do it twice. We got behind the back. Hands behind the back. That's the only way to do it.
It's embarrassing, man. Like you said, this is an A-team player. This is a starter for the A-team, arguably. And he was a liability all game. The two handballs weren't the only problems for Miles Robinson. He wasn't tracking properly. He wasn't playing out of the back properly. I thought he had a very bad game. I did not like how he played. I got uncomfortable. It was weird. Jalen Neal is a player I expect to play the way Miles played.
Yeah, he looked like a kid.
Super young guy. His second, third game for the main national team. But Miles, I don't expect that kind of performance from him, man.
Especially at that moment in injury time. I mean, you got to know at that time, the only way they're scoring is from a penalty. Yeah. I mean, Canada was doing nothing.
Yeah. Let's talk about penalty, because I'll be honest, I haven't seen the U.S. in penalties in a very long time. And it was a very novel experience, and there was a good part of it and a bad part of it. So let's start with the bad. Let's start there first, right? Brandon Vasquez penalty.
Sure. I mean, it's a terrible penalty, especially in his home stadium, but I don't know. He shapes it like the correct way, right? The goalie dives one way. He shapes like he's going to opens his body, going to pass into the other side of the net and just blows it over. The technique was fine, just not a good penalty. And then Jesus Ferreras was lucky. I mean, the goalie should. I think Matt Turner saves that. If that's Matt Turner,
I think so.
That's a save. Yeah. He got his hand to it. Cowles wasn't great either. He puts it centrally, but a little. He doesn't even put it centrally. He puts it to the same side that St. Clair is diving. It's not a great penalty.
Yeah, so Roy, do we bring Busio in just to take penalties for the A team or what?
Dude, that was nasty, man. Yeah. I was so worried with his approach to it because he had 1-2 steps, and this is a small guy. This is a little guy that has shown throughout the game that he doesn't have a powerful shot. He used to when he played for Sporting Kansas City, but he doesn't have a powerful shot. He kind of just taps it, and then he does a 2-step penalty kick. I'm like, this guy's just going to lob it to the goalkeeper's hands. It's going to be embarrassing. What a freaking gorgeous PK. But how about Vasquez doing the limbo, man? You see how far he leaned back on that penalty kick? He almost did a backflip. I thought he was ready to do a backflip. That was ridiculous.
No, you're right. But we got to talk Matt Turner, right? We actually have a goalkeeper who, when we get into competitions, I mean, this is an elite penalty stopper, right? And think about how long we've talked before about, he was at the Revolution, and he was an MLS goalkeeper. We thought he's a good shot stopper, not so good with his feet. By the way, going back, the assist in some ways on the tying goal in extra time was from Matt Turner. I mean, he's gotten much better with his feet. He's an amazing shot stopper. And in penalties, man, we've never seen him in a penalty shootout for the U.S. And amazing. To stop that first Vittoria penalty, it's such a mind game because he went down the center at the end of regulation, and he's thinking, he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. He can't do it again. All right, he's going to do it again. And he just stays in there. I mean, that's got to feel so good if you're Matt Turner.
Dude, what a story that guy. Didn't start playing soccer until he was 14, 15 years old. Didn't play basically any minutes his first 2 years of college. Didn't go to the notable college at all. Didn't get drafted in the MLS Super Draft. Went undrafted. And then a few years later, starting goalkeeper for the U.S. men's national team, plays for Arsenal, played in a World Cup, saved 2 penalties in the Gold Cup quarterfinal, won Nations League. This is insane. What a beautiful story of not rags to riches, but from absolute nothing to potentially maybe being the greatest goalkeeper of all time in the U.S. Not now, but if he keeps this up and he has a great 2026 World Cup, I mean,
protect that man at all costs. Protect that man.
That's what we're gonna do. All right, big game for the team coming up. We got through this one by the skin of our teeth, but this is a different animal, right?
Yeah, this is a much better team. And honestly, I think they have a better coach too. Thomas Christensen's a good coach. This is a good team. They're playing well. Karaskia looks really, really good in this tournament.
Yep.
Of course, Diaz coming in with the hat trick. This is a team that's firing on all cylinders, and they haven't looked like us against better competition, right? They ran through in the quarterfinals, right? Pretty easily. I mean, very easily. This is a Panama team that's really confident.
Against a team that beat Mexico.
Level up.
They beat a team that beat Mexico 1-0. They beat them 4-0. So this is a dangerous team. From the first game, I was watching Panama, and they just seem dangerous. They seem composed. They seem well coached. They're tactically sound. They don't make too many mistakes. They ran through the tournament without losing. They only had that tie against El Salvador, which they probably should have won. Yep. But this is a good team with players that are playing really, really well.
It's one of the keys for us.
Look, I don't think Jesus Ferreira at the 9 works, honestly. I'm sorry, but like if you look at this game against Canada, there was a big hole centrally and forward. Jesus Ferreira played a good game, don't get me wrong, but that when he pushed back and Brandon Vasquez was playing that center forward position, it changed things considerably. Who's going to score goals on this team? Not the midfielders. So I think I'd like to see Brandon Vasquez start perhaps alongside Ferreira, because I don't think we're getting enough attacking play from the midfield. So that's the key, that we have to create more goal-scoring opportunities against this Panama team. They're going to have their chances coming at us, but we need to create more chances because we're going to have a little bit more of the ball.
Yep. I think Jesus Ferreira continues to be our most dangerous attacker, whether he's doing it as a traditional 9 or not. Watch the game yesterday. Watch an all-touch video. And count how many dangerous passes he gave.
Yeah, but that's
that
not
in most instances should lead to a goal.
But that's the problem, though. We don't have goal scorers. His position to score goals. So
I understand.
Him laying it off doesn't really help us, and that's
fine. That's fine. But my point is, he needs to be on the field. He needs to be on the field close to goal. What they did yesterday to him was the first poor tactical decision that BJ has made. Moving him to right mid and then some kind of defensive central right position where he got burned on that goal. He got moved to the wrong position when Vasquez came on, completely eliminated him from danger, eliminated him from what he's really good at. He needs to be on the field high up, but I think Brandon Vasquez also needs to be on the field. It's not one or the other for me. It's for the coach to figure out how to play them both and get the best out of both.
Yeah, before Morris came on, I thought it was correct. And then Morris came on and changed that position.
Yeah, I like how Jesus Ferreira in a slightly, withdrawn role with Vasquez right there in front. I think that could be a good tandem there. Quickly, before we end, score predictions.
Sheesh. Oof. I almost got it right with the Canada game. I said 2-1 Canada. I was very close. But I'm going to say 2-1 Panama. I don't think we're good enough to beat a Panama on fire.
Okay.
I think it's 2-1 us in extra time.
I actually have a different take than both of you guys. I actually think we got the bad game out of our system in terms of this game, and I think we'll actually win it 2-0. That's my prediction. So
I hope so.
Let's see what happens with that.
I think we've played bad against the two good teams the two decent teams in this tournament, Jamaica and Canada. We didn't look good against either one of them. Panama's better than both, in my opinion.
Fair.
So
let's see what happens. But anyway, for those of you who want to go to the game, go to San Diego, watch them, and Snapdragon Stadium. But maybe we'll come to you after the game. Hopefully, we'll have another celebration video from Roy. Otherwise, I don't know. We'll have a different video. I was all prepared to talk about how we lost to Canada, but they came through.
Beautiful.
Thank you for that own goal.
Beautiful.
And
amazing. Can't believe we did it.
Until next time, as always, more than ever, go USA.
Vamos USA.